Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Antie Joan and Ontie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Well, hi, Antie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How goes it?
It's going good. How about your own self?
Oh, fine. Just fine. Actually, pretty good because I had a follow-up on my eye this past week and all is looking good.
Awesome.
Yes, no shot in my eye needed, which was, I actually started tearing up a little bit waiting for the doctor because I thought for sure I was going to get a shot in my eye. I calmed myself down. Just as the tears started, I'm like, you need to relax. How about you wait and see what the doctor has to say before you get all spun up that you're going to get a shot in your eye? And he walked in and he got right to it, thankfully, and said, everything's looking really good. You do not need a shot. And I said, that's all I came to hear.
Wow.
It's the only reason I'm here is to hear that.
I didn't realize you got a shot there when you went.
I don't. I have not gotten one yet, but it's called retinal neuropathy. It's a side effect of radiation. I have the very early stages of potentially it becoming retinal neuropathy, but it's not a mass. So I don't want anybody to freak out. It's not a mass. It's nothing like that. It's basically leakage. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a leakage that radiation can cause. I have the early signs that there's potential for that, but it has not started leaking. There's no issue. It's stable. Everything's stable. And that's good in my world.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't need a shot. Now, I go back in for 4 months. I have to do the images again. Like, I think this time he wants to do an ultrasound, which we haven't done on my eye in a while. And it's possible I need a shot next time, but right now, all signs are pointing in the positive direction where it may never truly become retinal neuropathy. So right now, all is good. And the tumor, everything there is stable, no growth. Everything's flat like it's supposed to be. So right now, all is good.
Yeah, it is. So. My friend, you know her, Sandy B.
Sandy B.
Her husband gets a shot in the eye.
Oh, macular degeneration?
Yeah, and I think it could also be related to diabetes, something with his diabetes too. But yeah, I think he gets that quarterly.
Yeah, and the shot is expensive. I don't know what I would pay out of pocket, but it's like an $1,100 shot.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that's out of pocket. So like I said, the more I can save, I mean, for the economics of it and, my health, I hope I never need one. But
I hope so too.
So far, and he did say the longer we continue forward past when I had the radiation, which was 3 years ago. Yes, 3 years ago.
Wow.
The less likely it will turn into full retinal neuropathy requiring the shots. So all signs are good so far. Let's hope he's like, keep up the good work. I'm like, but I'm not doing anything.
Well, keep blowing that cinnamon around.
I guess. Yes. On the first of every month, folks, you're supposed to put some cinnamon in your left palm and blow it from outside your house into your house across your threshold. It is for good fortune. It's a Wiccan thing, pagan Wiccan thing. So I've been doing that this year. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And I went to a Tai Chi in the park down in Golden, and that was quite lovely. I had never actually done Tai Chi with an instructor, but like a live instructor, in-person instructor. Everything I've done has been over the internets. And it was
a live instructor as opposed to a dead one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct. But yes, he was very knowledgeable and I liked him a lot. He did a lot of explaining. So we didn't do a lot of moves. We did a lot of repetitive motions of the same move, but there was lots of explanation between, which I appreciated. And I was hoping they were going to continue it. It was in Parfet, Parfet, Parfet Park in Golden. Never heard of it before. It's a little tiny park, but it also connects to all the trails that Killian and I do on those trails down in Golden. So it's an alternative place to park. It's very pretty. It's all along the river.
Oh, nice.
Very nice area. Very, very close to downtown, like below downtown Golden. I don't know. It's on 10th Street on Golden. So it's a very cute little area. So maybe Killian and I may start some of our walks from there and venture out differently and stuff. But yeah, quite lovely. I encouraged them to continue it because I really enjoyed it. That wasn't their plan because apparently it was National Tai Chi Day is why they did it, which I didn't know. I hope they do more sessions because I would like to partake and pay for them. This one was free because it was National Tai Chi Day, but I'd be happy to pay to continue to do something like that. So she said she was going to look into it and see what she can do. She did mention, of course, weather is always a factor, especially in the springtime in Colorado, because you never know if you're getting second, third, fourth, fifth winter. Yeah. And I was like, well, if you got to cancel, you got to cancel. Like, I think people would be understanding of that. Fingers crossed they start doing more of that. I would be all in on that.
How would you know that it's going to be...
It's the same woman that I went to that's those spiritual meetings or the business people's women's group, whatever thing it was. So I'm still on her list. This I actually she didn't notify me about. I saw it on Nextdoor. She posted on Nextdoor and I said, I'll be there. And then she had some sound bath thing last Saturday. No, maybe it was Monday. I don't remember. She sent me the notification like the day, she sent me a text the day before, but I didn't go to that. I think it was Wednesday and I had other plans to deal with on Wednesday. So good times. I hope they continue it.
Sounds like it.
And then you went on something very cool in East Boulder.
Oh, the East Boulder County Artists studio tour. These were mostly in Longmont that I saw. I went and saw Angelo, who was the guy that I took the glass blowing class from. And I went there because, well, I wanted to get one of his, some people call them witch balls. He calls them...
the balls you put in your window to catch the evil spirits, right? With the spit, they have like the things in the middle, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't call it that.
That's what they are.
His is like a tree. I think he calls them tree. I don't know, but
tree balls. Does he call it tree balls? Please tell me he calls it tree balls.
I don't think so. His are trees inside, and I've seen those on other websites too. But I got one. It's a good size one. I have it hanging in my kitchen window, and
keeps out evil spirits. They get stuck inside the ball. That's what those things in the middle are.
I've got 3 of them up there in that window.
Well, you ain't gonna get no evil spirits, then. They're all stuck. They're stuck now. Don't break that. Don't break those balls.
What if they try to come through another window, though? See? Yeah.
I guess they could. Why do you have them all in one window? Why don't you spread them out?
Because it's that garden type window, and I wanted to have like the decorations up on top above it. And
I only had one in my old house, and I got rid of it.
That worked? Oh.
I guess. No evil spirits happened, I guess.
You got rid of the ornament?
I did. I did not bring it with me to the new house. I don't know what I bet you I threw it out because I know you're not supposed to break them. I bet you I carefully put it in the garbage and brought it to the transfer station. I bet you I did that.
Why didn't you take it with you?
I had a lot of witches stuff back in the day. I had lots of books on witchcraft and all that stuff. And when I left the Ned house, I decided that was enough of that.
I just like the looks of these.
They're very pretty. Mine was purple. Mine was very purpley and pretty. And it had like the things in the middle, the drops of, or the lines. It looked like lines of glass that was blown into it. Yeah, it was beautiful. I loved it.
It's impressive how they do that.
I had mine sitting on a stand, but the stand wasn't enclosed in any way. So it had full the full evil spirit catching capabilities of the ball were not compromised at all. I never hung it. It almost made it look like a crystal ball. Because it was like on a little stand, but it was all like a wrought iron stand that was, so the ball was fully exposed. It wasn't anything. It wasn't like a solid piece or anything. I loved that thing, but it was time. It was time for it not to come with me to this house. Because what if I broke it in here and I brought the evil spirits in?
Well,
see what I'm saying? So I said no. I wouldn't be opposed to getting another one, but when I left that house, that one needed to not come with me anymore.
That's too bad. So in other words, when you took it to what do you call that place where you take them?
In Connecticut, we always called it a dump, but nobody calls it dumps out here. Yeah. That's what I've always called it. And you mean the transfer station?
The transfer station.
And I'm like, the dump where you take your fucking garbage.
So if it breaks there, then that's okay because all the evil spirits
they'll just go to the wind.
Hang around to the dump.
That's right. They'll go to the wind. Yeah. They could go somewhere else.
Gonna follow you.
I doubt it. I left the town.
Search you out.
But I left the town.
They know.
Sure.
So anyway, I went to that. And then after I saw him, then I went to the lady that I took the Christmas ornament ceramic class from. And ended up signing up for her totem class this June. It's a
Nice.
3-weekend, 3-Saturday session, but they're pretty cool. I really like those. But I also, while I was there, I met a friend of hers who was just there visiting her during this open studio thing. And come to find out, this woman came from Georgia, not the state, but the country.
Oh,
that had been occupied by Russia. So we got into a really wonderfully in-depth conversation about her life in Georgia. She's going back for a visit. I think in June she's going back for a visit. And I said, well, I hope you can get back in. So we'll see. Yeah. She's been a citizen for 30 years. So that was good times. Good times. It was nice seeing Anna again, the instructor. And I'm looking forward to that class.
That's awesome. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, you like that kind of stuff.
Well,
it's going to be fun. Stop always being so negative. Just say,
yes,
it's going to be. You are.
I'm realistic.
You're negative. Just say it will be fun. And it will be fun.
Like
if you put out the energy that it's not going to be, it's not going to be.
Oh, I've had many times I've gone someplace thinking it was going to be wonderful and it wasn't. So there you go. Anyway, I do like working with clay because it is so forgiving and there's so many more things you can do with it. And where with the glass, that to me was just too iffy. So, yeah. Well, cool. And then by the time I finished at Anna's, which, I was there for probably a good hour, talking with her and her friend. Their tour was over. The time was up just about. I had to go to the grocery store and come home.
Gotcha.
Good times. Good times, though.
Good. Yeah. And we'll have a link so you guys can see what Auntie Joan went to and maybe mark your calendars for next year if you're going to be in that Longmont Boulder area next year.
I was surprised there weren't many fiber artists there. It was mainly painting, jewelry, that kind of stuff. I was.
What is a fiber artist?
Oh, well, the art quilts or macrame or textiles, making stuff with fiber textiles, whatever. So,
fabric.
Yeah. I even like the artistic dolls that people make now. They're pretty cool.
No dolls. Dolls are creepy. Don't you dare get any dolls. That's gross.
Oh, really?
No. Ew.
Oh, that's right. You said no more gifts.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are pretty cool, though.
No.
The artsy ones.
Creepy.
I've often thought about, because I do follow these online auctions and estate sale things. And a lot of times you'll see some of these people, they'll have like a lot, group of like 5-10 dolls that they're trying to auction off. And some of them are like baby dolls, Cupid dolls, Barbie dolls. What people do with these dolls is just incredible.
Yeah, they all walk around at night while you sleep. Nope.
That's why I have my kitty cats. They protect me.
Of course they do. Good babies. And then you made something for us.
I did?
You did.
The t-shirts.
Yes.
Well, because we were going to an event and we thought what better way to spread the word about Pickled Watermelon Rinds than to wear it. And so we took it's not really the logo, but
yes, it is.
The visual representation that we have of the website, the two women with the watermelons, that went on the front side of the shirt. And on the back, we put the QR code so people could scan it and zoomed in right to the RSS website for our podcast.
Yes, it's very, very cool, folks. We did not take pictures of it, unfortunately, because we didn't think of it. So the next time we're together and we wear our shirts, because we'll probably start wearing them, not every time we get together, but more often.
Oh, God, I hope
so that
not.
we could do a little self-promoting as we're just tooling around at different locations. But the QR code on the back is ginormous, and that was on purpose. We both wanted it to be that big, so it makes it easy for people to be able to scan it from a distance, so they don't feel like they have to come up or if they're just curious, like, what is that QR code? They can just scan it, kind of thing. But Auntie Joan did a very, very nice job. She created decals and then ironed them on herself onto our shirts. She did it all. Yeah. I would not have been able to do that. I can guarantee that.
I was supposed to use my iron press. It's not a heat press, but it's an iron press. But I couldn't find it because when I had the sewer back up and the worker guys came and shoved everything into a couple unfinished rooms. So I don't know where it is. So I ended up finding my old vintage iron that I got from Salvation Army with no holes in it. It was even pre-steam days. So I use that to press it on. I wouldn't mind trying it again when I do get that press out and up, because my QR code, there were some spots where it was coming off.
But you said it still worked when you scanned
it.
Yeah,
So
who cares?
I do. And I noticed on yours, it was kind of a little peeling on the upper corner.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't notice that. But we had these wonderful shirts made because, as Auntie Joan alluded to, we did a sunshine or shade segment that we've talked about, but we've never done before. We were on location with our little lapel mics, and we went to a couple of different places. We went to Taste Local, which is a restaurant that I think I talked about before, where I went with Hasey about a year ago or so, a little over a year ago. And that's in Loveland. Everything we did was an outing in Loveland. A half day in Loveland, Colorado is what we did. And we stopped at Taste Local first and had a wonderful little brunchy meal. And you want to shout out to our wonderful wait person?
That's Graham.
Yes.
Yes.
Quite lovely. And we had good food and stuff like that, but we recorded this on location. So we're not going to give you any more than that. We're just telling you that's where we went. We did want to shout out to Graham because we didn't actually say our wait person's name on our recording. So we want to make sure that we got it out there to all of you. And then after that, we went for the Love of Pickles Pickle Fest in Loveland, which was sponsored by Aleworks, or Alehouse. Aleworks Draft House, I think is what it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. And this was all things pickle, the pickled beer, pickle earrings, pickles, actual pickles. Vendors sold other things than that too, but it was much bigger than we expected. But again, we talk about that. We do talk about it on our recording. So you can listen to that. But a couple things we didn't mention on the recording were we met a couple of doggies, Fievel and Wiley, adorable. Fievel was dressed in a pickle costume. Adorable. And Wiley was dressed in lederhosen. It was adorable. And we did get a picture of them, so we're going to post that. So look at the trailer for this episode, and you'll see pictures of both Fievel and Wiley. And then we ran into some nice women who had beautiful pickle headbands on. We've got a picture of that. And then a picture of an artwork that Antie Joan really liked at Taste Local.
Oh yeah.
Will also be included in our trailer art. So just if you're listening to this episode and you missed the trailer, go back and listen to the trailer too and see the artwork on Instagram or Facebook. Those are the two places that you can see our avatars and then the pictures associated with it. As a treat, which we didn't record during, we took a drive around Auntie Joan's old neighborhood, her old stomping grounds in Loveland. And hindsight, we should have been recording while we were driving around, so we could have talked about it in real time.
Who knew?
But beautiful area. I'd never been to that part of Loveland before. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Lots of little lakes and water things around and trails everywhere. And
I moved in there in the end of 1983. I spent the house was $50,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yes, it was. And that street was the last street that my house was on, was the last street north. So I could sit on my little back patio and look out, and I could see this farm. I could see I think I even saw bald eagles sometimes. Oh, and the little lake, tons of lakes around there. Little lakes, but
some are bigger.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nice to have them there. And I just remember sitting out there one day after work, and all of a sudden I see this flock of strange looking birds flying around. They're like going in circles, and then they landed on that little lake just to the north of where my house was. And they were pelicans.
Wow.
Yeah, they had black tips, black on the
black what now?
Tips.
Not
no. Oh, jeez. they would come and they would stay for several weeks. And I had an old English sheepdog then, and Starbuck, and then my Tasha, my old Afghan hound, and I would walk them all around that area, and it was just it was just so peaceful and nice. And now when we went there, it's all houses, and you couldn't even see the little lake that I used to watch the birds come in on. Yeah. But it's a nice area.
It's still a nice area. It's definitely on my list of potential retirement areas. I'm creating a list as I go along and see things. So I really liked it over there. I liked that area because it was just a little bit on the outskirts, but it was still so accessible to downtown that it just seems like it would be a nice place to be. So it's on the list for sure.
Yeah, Loveland is a nice little town. I mean, it's not teeny tiny. It's a good sized town. There's 2 hospitals, one right across from where I lived and then another out by I-25.
Right.
So you've got plenty of medical care there as a retiree. So then, Auntie, while we're driving around, we saw a house that was for sale.
Yes.
And Larry and I had looked at a house in that neighborhood at one time. I think they were models then when we looked. And they were lovely little houses, and not little, but nice houses, not the McMansions.
Right.
And we ended up looking up what the asking price was and all that stuff for it. And I happened to see that there were 2, not 1, but 2 HOA fees, which blew my mind. I thought 1 HOA fee is bad enough, but now that
but honestly, when you do the math out, it turns out to be about $400 and something dollars, low, like $405 or something like that a month. Because one HOA fee was monthly, the other HOA fee was quarterly.
Right.
Add them all together and then divide by 12. It was about $405 a month, which honestly, sadly, is the going rate for HOA fees.
For now. I mean, but those things always go up, so.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That's the going rate. If you look at any property that has an HOA at this point, it's typically about $400 a month.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's not great because you own, so you don't have to pay rent, a monthly fee, but you own this, but you don't, you still have to pay a monthly fee, which does suck. Now, granted, $400 a month is much less than a rent. However, you already bought the house.
And that's not including the taxes, which in my case, they went and whatever they call it. And so my house payment has gone up a couple $100 a month because of the increase in the tax.
Oh, Boulder taxes is no joke. That's why big reason I left Nederland.
I know.
One of the most significant reasons, because when I left, I paid just under $3,000 a year. And for a 3,200 square foot house on an acre of property. And I think now it's somewhere in the 7,000 range.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. It's crazy. And I saw it coming. I already knew it was going to go up the year I was trying to leave. I ended up having to pay half of that because I stayed for half a year. But yeah, Boulder County is no joke. It's a sought after county. They have good reputation, good houses. Some come with a little bit of property, some don't. Just depends on where you are, kind of thing. But it's a very desirable area to live in, and the taxes show it. It's crazy. It all went up during COVID. COVID and beyond is when it really jumped.
True. Yeah. Well, and the house prices here are ridiculous too. I mean, my little house, it's crazy what
your house isn't that little.
Okay. It's your average ranch style house with a full basement.
Right.
What I've seen those go for, I mean, it just blows my mind.
But you also have a nice little piece of property too. It's not ginormous. It's not an acre, but it's not your usual teeny weeny, patch of grass in the front, patch of grass in the back, and that's all you get. It's stuck right next to your neighbors. You don't have that. So
see, one of my grandsons, they moved down in what used to be the old airport area, I think.
Oh, Stapleton area.
Yeah. And their house is over $1 million. I mean, it's a nice house, but it's certainly not what I think is worth $1 million. But then I can't believe people pay more than $5,000 for a car. So there you go.
Right.
But anyway, it's a big house and they've got like no yard. I mean, you could almost spit from their patio to the next door, to the neighbors behind them.
Yep.
But, young people today, they would rather spend their time recreating rather than working in the yards, a lot of them. So
for sure. And I'm certainly not a big advocate of having yard. I mean, I hated when I had to mow my lawn down in Westminster. I lived in Westminster.
Yeah.
And, kept up with flowers and all that crap. I do not like outdoor work at all, but I refuse to pay somebody to do something I could do, because at the time I was in my 30s and I'm like, I'm really going to pay somebody when I can mow. I mean, my lawn wasn't that big. It was like, I can't justify.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Much cheaper for me to go buy a lawnmower and do it myself. And I'm confident. Oh my God. I wish somebody recorded me mowing the front lawn. I literally used to do it in a circle until I got to the center, because there was a tree in the center where the rocks are, not ginormous tree, but a decent tree, but not like your ginormous tree in the front. My neighborhood wasn't old enough for that yet, or that tree wasn't planted early enough, I guess I should say. But I didn't think it was an aspen, as a matter of fact, or something like that. I don't know what it was. I'm not into any of that shit. But anyway, yes, I used to mow the lawn in a circle.
How did you do the corners then?
Well, yeah. I mean, technically square circle. You know what I mean? Like just kept going inward until I got to the tree. And I'm like, done. Yeah, I was not good at it.
Oh, there's a whole science, I think, to cutting grass. It's like this week you do it this way, and then the next week you do it that way. And yeah.
Oh, look at who came to visit.
Hi, Mr. Oscar.
Mr. Oscar, because he knows it's me. See, now we're friends.
Oh, I have to tell you. Ruth and Otto came by the other day, and they were...
Don't even say that he came and saw them.
Well, he came upstairs, and he looked at Ruth.
And then ran away?
Because Otto was working on the socket in my pantry. So, yeah, no, he walked by her. But then he went up and he got by the counter, and then he turned around and he walked back in front of the fireplace, and he did that little hop thing.
So cute.
And I just wonder if, I don't know, a little thing he does to kind of tease people or say, look how cute I am, or
maybe. He's adorable. Nice.
There you go. I know.
She's showing me his butthole. Terrible.
Say hello, Oscar.
Oscar, baby.
Oscar, say hello. He tried.
He did try, but nothing came out.
It came out. You just couldn't hear it. My microphone's not good enough.
Gotcha.
So.
But yeah, he's adorable. I think, like I said, Loveland's certainly on my list now to at least look at. We'll see. And it depends if I'm still going all the way down to Anschutz to my doctor's office and all that. That's from my house now, everything I need to go to is about an hour. Every single thing down the hill takes me about an hour. But if I went up to Loveland, specifically to Anschutz, would be like an extra 20 minutes.
At least.
Yeah. Exactly. That's if there's no traffic. So that's what I mean. It's like, so it would hopefully by the time I'm ready to move down the hill, I won't be needing to go to Anschutz anymore anyway. So
well, that would be a long drive for an elderly person to. It's a long drive.
Are you kidding? When I go there, there's people that come from the ski resorts area, like Dill and all that. And I'm like, that is so far. Like
that blows my mind.
It's crazy, but they're the specialists down there, I guess. So we got more for you to hear about our time in good old Loveland, Colorado. Listen to our On Location. Now, keep in mind, folks, this was our first time we've done an On Location. So we're only going to go up from here.
I even wore white for the occasion.
We'll just have to see, we'll get better as we go, and we'll remember to turn on our mics at better times and all that wonderful stuff. But at least you get some real time, us giving our opinions about where we were, what we saw, what we did. So have a listen and enjoy. So here we are at Taste Local in Loveland, Colorado. We're having a nice little brunch before we head off to what was it called? For the Love of Pickles, Pickle Fest.
Pickle Fest,
right down the street. Auntie Joan, how you liking Taste Local so far?
So far, the coffee's fine. I had trouble opening their water jug thing. I had to ask the waitress for help because I couldn't figure. And it's an old-fashioned kind too, so I should have known better. But anyway, this town has changed quite a bit since I lived here back in the 80s and 90s. We did see a whole line of looked like unhoused people on the main.
I saw a few. I didn't see like a big long line. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, it's almost like a bunch of them had been evicted or something, and they were. I mean, they had bags of stuff. It was sad, but. And this area where the Taste Local is, it's kind of a little run down, it seems.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that, because I just walked from where I parked the car, which was not close by.
Yeah.
It's not run down at all.
Well, I'm used to Pearl Street in Boulder, so.
Well, actually, when's the last time you hung out in Pearl Street in Boulder?
Let's see, that would have probably been 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, no, there's quite a few little restaurants around here, because I was looking to see, because I didn't know if because I dropped Auntie Joan off at the door and went and parked. I was, just in case we had to come up with a backup. There's tons around here. We could have easily walked. Throw a rock. There's a restaurant, so we could have found. There's like a taco place. I was like, oh, this might be a good option.
Oh yeah. I will say they have a museum downtown here, and they've always had really innovative, not nice artsy type displays. Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty good museum.
What about the art here at Taste Local?
Oh my gosh, I fell in love with this orange blossoms.
Yes, Auntie Joan took a picture, so we will post it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so it's a very quaint little restaurant. We love this. It's very, country-esque with the tables and the mismatching of everything, and you get basically, towels as your napkin.
They're cotton. It's cloth. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sustainable, as they like to say.
Sure. But they got lots of artwork. All the lighting above us is of different shapes and sizes. And it's loud in here because it is one of those typical open ceiling kind of things, so we can see the
and wooden floors,
pipeworks and things like that. So hardwood floors. I am having the cowboy fry as my brunch item, and it's going to be a plate of assorted things with potatoes and scrambled tofu with seitan strips, which is they make it a little bacony, not 100%, but all vegan. And I'm having this wonderful, very spicy chili chocolate latte with oat milk, and it's delightful. You want to try it?
No.
You sure you don't want just a sip?
Well, okay, I'll take a sip. Which side did you drink from?
Not the side with, there you go.
I'll drink from here.
There you go. It's delicious.
I'm sensing notes of cayenne. That's tasty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a cute little place.
I'm just going to put in a little plug here. The artwork that I've tuned into is the rustic flower pot, recycled glass and resin artwork. And they've got a website and everything.
There you go.
Wow, yeah. Very cool. Interesting.
And Auntie Joan made us wonderful shirts with our logo on the front and our QR code on the back. So it's very exciting. We're going to be walking around for the Love of Pickles Pickle Fest with our shirts, and hopefully we get some more listeners. We're doing a little self-marketing.
We've already had our wait person ask us what our shirt said. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So hopefully we get some interest when we're walking around the festival. And anything else you wanted to add on Taste Local before we sign off on this one?
Well, tune in, keep listening, because we might have some exciting pickle tasting.
I hope so.
Share. Yeah,
we both
me too.
love pickles, so I'm very excited.
Yeah.
More eating. Anything that involves food, we're in. By the way.
Okay, so watch what I say.
No, doesn't matter. I can edit it out. Well, Auntie Joan, here we are at the, what is it called again?
Pickle Fest.
Well, yeah, but the whole name.
I know, I don't know.
For the Love of Pickles Pickle Fest. That's it. That's where we are in Loveland, Colorado. And it is quite the turnout today.
Yeah. Well, the weather's so beautiful.
Yes, this is Saturday, April 26th, and I think it's one of the first festivals of the season, so everybody is out and about doing their thing. Oh, that's pizza. Okay, we're at the end. Oh, it's shady over here. Let's scooch over there into the shade. Go there in the shade.
Oh, this here?
Shade. Yeah, there. Better? A little bit. Huh. Where's it
there we
coming
go.
From? Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we are not. Help yourself. Cute doggies. We have pictures to post.
Oh, yes.
A little doggy in a pickle costume.
The doggy in the pickle costume.
And a Bavarian dog costume.
Yes. And the ladies with their pickled headbands.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that they were a very fun bunch. We probably should have chatted with them, but we weren't thinking it. We are not. And we should have had our mics on, but we didn't.
No.
But now we do.
Yes. And nothing's going to happen now.
Well, no.
I think we're open to stuff happening. There's a lot of people.
Lots of people. Lots of people. And we got here pretty close to the start of it, and there was already quite a few people here.
Long lines to get some adult beverage.
Yes, they have lots of pickled beer options, and that line is ginormous. This pizza place seems to be hopping too. Misfits Pizza seems to be a hopping item as well.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very, very fun. Lots of different pickle booths. We did drop a line to a couple of folks asking them if they would start pickling some watermelon rinds.
Yes.
And they had not tried that yet, but they're going to maybe look into it. We highly recommended it. Ricky! I don't know who that was, but that was fun.
No, it wasn't.
Let's see. Yes,
Little puppies.
So Loveland Ale Works. Yes, a couple of puppies been walking around too. Loveland Ale Works is the main sponsor, I believe, although I think the backyard house or whatever the heck it's called next door isn't you can get to it, but it's not, it seems like it's not the gateway to the festival.
Right.
Street parking, so I did have to park kind of far, but not terrible. I enjoyed the walk because it's a nice day. If it was raining, I would have a different opinion.
Well, we probably wouldn't be here, would we?
Probably not. Probably
that
not.
pizza does look good, though.
It does. It's right here. Get it to go.
No.
Okay. And let's see. What else do we have to tell you about the festival? More booths than I thought, bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a rinky-dink little thing with like 10 people here, and there's lots and lots and lots of people here.
I think everybody in Loveland is here
today. I believe they are. I believe they are. It's very chaotic.
Does that little girl have a Jason Momoa crochet thing on?
No.
No?
No. Doesn't look like it's a poncho thing. Looks like maybe a scarf.
Well,
okay. Do you want anything? Do anything?
I got my peanut brittle, and I got a towel for my next door neighbors.
Very nice. Very nice. I purchased nothing, although pickled earrings sounds like it would be kind of fun.
They do look cute, yes. Yes.
No. I think that might be fun for our next outing with our shirts on, wearing our pickle earrings too. You know what I mean? Oh, if we can get watermelons
Exactly,
too.
exactly.
See, we got some. We can make those ourselves. I used to make earrings.
We could, yeah.
That was pretty easy to do. Maybe we should look into that.
We should. That Google machine, fire up that Google machine.
Pickle charms and watermelon charms, put them together in an earring, paired together, you know? I think that'd be quite lovely. Quite lovely. We did get asked if we had a booth here. We do not.
Oh, that's right. We do not.
We do not. Because it's weird having a booth. Somebody else asked, one of our friends asked me as well, were we going to have a booth? And I'm like, to do what?
Well, to
interview.
Broadcast, to record. Yeah, and to interview people.
Maybe interview people. That's the only thing I could think of.
But it's all I could do to get my ass up here.
You did just fine.
Oh, okay.
You got here.
But the peanut brittle I got, the lady said it's her grandmother's recipe, and she's been making it since the 1920s.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And she was very kind to make sure that I knew that you did have butter. So unfortunately, I could not partake, but I didn't expect it either. She did say they're gluten-free, though. So if folks are gluten-free, they got you covered here with the peanut brittle.
Yes, indeedy.
Indeed. So very cool.
And lots of pickles around.
Indeed.
So you wanna head back, or?
Well, we can get out here.
Oh, okay.
Like we don't have to go back unless you need to go back through there. Do you want to buy anything else? No. Are you good?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. We did have 2 or 3 people stop us and scan us.
Yes.
So they are ready for our podcast. And they all said they were going to listen. We'll see, because we see the statistics.
Well,
that would be awesome. Here comes a pickle. Here comes a dude in a pickle.
Oh yeah.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Well, we just might have to do something for next year. Plan it, you know.
Well, we did. We made shirts. Well, you made shirts for us.
We jumped. Well, yeah. But I mean, we got all year now. We can come up with a headdress and really tacky ourselves up.
Oh, I like the idea of that. You know, I love hats.
Yeah, you do.
Big fan of hats.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Well, we are going to wrap. It's getting a little warm out here. I know it's only springtime in Colorado, but it's a little warm for
with the sun.
This mountain gal.
It's the mountain sun. You were, you know, a mile closer to the sun, so you can feel it
for sure. All right. Well, that wraps it for our pickled. What is it? For the Love of Pickles Pickle Fest 2025.
Yes.
And we will check out the next festival. And like Antie Joan said, be prepared for next year.
Yeah, you betcha.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye now.
I didn't realize it all connected. As Antie Joan knows, I made the Narddogcooks Cinnamon Bread that we talked about on the last episode.
Oh my goodness!
And Antie Joan and I split it like we talked about. I brought her down the half of it, and do tell, Antie Joan, what did you think?
I love it. I'll tell you, I savored it. I had the last piece last night, and I put my Ready whipped cream around it. That kind of. It was really, really good. Trust me.
Yeah. The only thing I would do differently is I made it the morning of going to see Antie Joan because I wanted to make sure it was nice and fresh and all that. And I didn't start it early enough. I should have let it cool completely before I cut it in half for the first time, because it wasn't quite cool all the way through. It was still a little warm, and I went to cut it and it kind of crumbled a little bit more. But once I got home later that night and cut a piece, it actually did hold together properly. So that was my mistake. I should have just started the process a little bit earlier, because it took about, I would say it bakes for about an hour, I think.
Really?
Yeah. And I started, it only takes like a half an hour to throw everything together. There's no kneading. There's no letting anything rise. It's a quick bread. That's the whole point of it. So it was pretty easy to put together. I was just being lazy that morning. I knew I should have started it earlier, and I just said, oh, I got time. Oh, I got stupid. I knew better than that, but it happened. An hour and a half from, starting it till it comes out of the oven. And then I would say it's probably another good hour and a half before it's completely cooled. And the one thing he didn't say, and I went back and watched the video, was when you're letting it cool, is it in pan or out of pan? I took it out of pan, but I wasn't sure if I was supposed to do that or keep it in pan and let it cool completely and then take it out of the pan.
I would think that's the way to go.
I mean, it came out fine. It's not like it didn't fall apart for that reason. That came out fine. There was, barely anything left in the pan itself. But I'm like, he doesn't say. In pan, out of pan. So I was like, So like I said, I took it out because also I wanted to cool faster because I knew I had to leave the house to keep the time that Auntie Joan and I had agreed on. So I was like, I'm taking it out of pan. So I think next time I might just leave it in pan. I agree. I thought it was very good too. I was concerned when I first cut it, like I told you, that it was too crumbly because I've had that experience with quick breads before. Beer breads specifically, they get this really hard crust on the top. But then it just, you can't slice it into sandwich bread.
Right.
Or I haven't been able to do that with any of the beer breads I've made in the past, which are all quick breads. Big during COVID because you didn't need yeast and there was a yeast shortage and all that crap. So I would make beer breads because it's super easy. But again, the slicing was just a non-starter. So I thought this was going to be the same. But I did do chunks. Like I didn't try to do any kind of like, these were not sandwich slices. They were more like Texas toast slices. Right? That's what you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I ended up getting about 4 slices out of my half, but I had one every day until it was gone. I didn't savor it.
I think I might have gotten more than 4, but I think I sliced twice crosswise, and then I did the part that was left. I think I got like 3 perpendicular. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, good recipe.
It was really good. Yeah.
It was a good recipe. So I know we provided a link directly to his site in last episode. We'll provide the link specifically to the cinnamon bread if somebody else wants to try and make it. And I did use vegan butter. I know there was an option of using coconut oil, but after I watched his video again, he basically said, well, vegan butter just makes it, buttery. So I said, okay. So I used vegan butter. I had it. I used it. So I don't know what it's like with the coconut oil, but I used vegan butter. It was quite good. There you have it.
Thank you for making that. It was delish.
Well, I'm glad it came out well. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it does make me want to make more of his stuff for sure. And check out his other quick breads. At first I was like, yeah, this is going to be my one and done quick bread from him because of how it originally cut. But like I said, wasn't cool enough yet. I jumped the gun a little bit, but
I have to say the photography too that he uses is really good. I mean, his food just looks so good. So,
yep.
Thanks, Nard Dog.
That's right. Thanks, Nard Dog. All right, and then Auntie Joan, you've got a crop tending item. So that was our crop tending item. That was what we are eating, and now we're going to do a crop tending item called what we are watching because Auntie Joan's got something to talk about.
Oh man, I just happened to come across this by accident. I tuned in and it was the NFL draft.
Oh,
and it was a big to do at Lambeau Field, the Green Bay Lambeau Field football arena. I mean, it was packed, just regular people getting all excited about a bunch of college kids and who's going to get picked on what team. I know it's a thing. I know there's a lot of people who are into it. I just don't get it. These people that they praise and they're screaming for and all that. These kids, they would have nothing to do with them. These people in the audience, they don't care about them. They're like the jocks and stuff from school that had everything handed to them, basically. I know they work hard and there's a lot of work involved. And I personally feel that the kids that go to school on scholarships for football, they should get some type of payment or something because for the money that they bring in for the schools, they should get something back. But I just don't get it though, that these grown adults getting all excited about some college kids. I don't get it.
Well, I think that the fantasy football leagues and things like that have hyped all this stuff. And that's probably why it's getting as much attention. I mean, football's always been popular. I mean, it just has been. But I think it's gone crazy over the past, God, I don't even know when fantasy football has been around for a while now. But I think it's just gotten exponentially more because they're more into individual players, not necessarily teams. People still have their favorite teams, but fantasy football is not about a team. It's about individual players on different teams. So it was brilliant. Whoever came up with fantasy football is brilliant. Because now people are watching games that they normally would have zero interest in if they were just interested in their team. Now, because fantasy football has players across multiple teams and you're picking your players, that are going to do whatever they're going to do that particular week. I've never played fantasy football, so I'm going only by what people have told me. So now you're watching games to see how one individual player is playing and how that impacts your score for your fantasy football, whatever the hell it is, every week. So it's, like I said, it's brilliant. Whoever came up with this is now having people watch games that they normally would never have watched. But now they are, because they want to see how their person is doing. And they might have multiple people on these other teams, but it's also, like I said, teams that they normally wouldn't have cared about. Unless if they won, it could impact how their favorite team might turn out. Then they might watch that game. But if it was just a regular season game, they wouldn't have watched that game. And now they are. So like I said, it's brilliant. And now that you can do the gambling online, that's yet another level of bringing more people in and making sure that the right people are getting onto the teams that they want to bet on and stuff like that. So it's just like blown up so incredibly.
You see so many, I hate to bring out the female card, but you see so many men today complaining about how they're not being respected or they're not getting the advantages that they used to because of feminism and women's lib and all this stuff. It's just taken away all. And then you look and you see something like this where all this attention is on a male-dominated sport. And I think back to a vacation I took with Larry one year. It was shortly after we got together. And we went from Denver to Louisville, Kentucky in the summer. And we went through Sturgis, South Dakota. And it just happened to be when they had their motorcycle rally thing going on. So we'd see thousands of bikers on the road, on the highway. And then we went to Green Bay, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, for the Experimental Aircraft Association fly-in. So, all these planes and stuff. And then on the way to Louisville, they had a classic car conference or something. So all the way there, it was all these basically male-dominated interest things. And I couldn't help but think at the time, I was very into quilting. I thought, boy, you'd never see this much money going out for a quilting conference, or something that's more female related. So I don't have much sympathy for these guys crying, look at me. But anyway, I just got to put my old lady 2 cents in there. And I know I'm not alone out there thinking that.
That's right.
Reminded me of when they started the Super Bowl. And I'm thinking, oh, dear Lord, we got another football game we have to put up with, because my dad, he'd watch that Super Bowl. And especially in the beginning when Green Bay, the Packers were so big. So anyway, and that, as they say, is that.
Yes. Do you want to put a reminder out to everyone? If you have a question or a comment for us, maybe on a recent episode or something, or a topic you would like to hear us discuss, please do leave us a voicemail at www.speakpipe.com/pickled watermelon rinds. And we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what part of the world you're calling in from and what your question is, or concern is or comment is or topic you'd like us to discuss is. And we just may play your recording on the air and answer your question. Feel free to hit that again. It's www.speakpipe.com/pickled watermelon rinds.
And I'd like to hear from my sisters out there who feel the same way I do about all this goofy stuff.
Without getting too political.
Without getting, too political. I don't want to hear mean things.
Right. Okay. Auntie Joan, anything else for our listener today?
My gosh, I think I've had enough.
All right. Well, then that wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Antie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.